You're listening to the Small Business Accelerator podcast, accelerating success, one founder at a time.
With your hosts, Roger Bryant and Sarah Wilson.
We support small business owners, the little guys. We're here to help you win in today's landscape.
Join us each week as we reveal powerful strategies for small business owners that save you time and money.
Because we believe every small business owner should have access to Fortune 500 style strategies without breaking the bank.
Subscribe now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts to accelerate your small business success. Hey everyone, ready to dig into something super relevant? We're tackling stable income, especially in these wild times.
Yeah, it's a big one, right?
Huge. And we've got great stuff to work with. An excerpt from Say Goodbye to Feast-or-Famine, that title alone, right?
It speaks to the soul, doesn't it?
Totally. And then we've got info on this online course, Automations Made Easy, saving time, getting things smoother.
It's like the practical side of the stability coin.
Exactly. But first, you know me, gotta love a good stat. Get this, post-pandemic, people are more eager to get back to sit-down dining than almost anything else. Data Central survey, pretty wild.
It's that human need to connect, you know?
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Stable income, stable businesses, they go hand in hand. It's about providing those experiences people crave, those connections.
Okay, now that's a link I wouldn't have made. But let's get back to basics. Feast or famine. Like every freelancer's anthem, right? 1 month swamped, the next crickets.
It's the cycle. And this book nails why it hits freelancers and small business owners so hard. That unpredictability, always scrambling for the next gig, it takes a toll. Have you ever felt that pressure, not knowing where the next paycheck's coming from?
Oh, big time. Like a weight, you know?
Totally. But this book, it doesn't just whine about the problem. It's all about taking charge, strategic planning, not just riding the wave of whatever the economy throws at you.
Building that solid base, yeah. So how do they say we actually DO that?
Well, a big one is diversifying income. Like that old saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? But this is your money, your livelihood.
Multiple income streams, spreading the risk makes sense.
Exactly. And they get into specifics. Part-time work that uses your skills but is different from your main gig. Side hustles, maybe tapping into a passion, even passive income online courses, ebooks, that kind of thing.
Okay, now this one tripped me up. They say invest in innovation after hitting profit goals. Isn't that backwards?
It seems counterintuitive, but think about it. If you're barely scraping by, any investment feels terrifying.
Right, like you can't afford to lose anything.
Exactly. But if you've got a cushion, you're more stable, then those calculated risks make sense.
Oh, I see. It's like secure your base camp, then start exploring. And that actually ties into the Automations Made Easy thing. Working on your business, not just always in it.
Spot on. That course is all about freeing up your time and mental energy by automating the stuff you don't need to do personally. They say you can save like 2 hours a day, minimum.
2 hours. Okay, I'm listening. But T, what are we automating? Not everything can be right.
You're right. It's got to be strategic. The course teaches you how to pick the right tools, figure out which tasks are actually worth automating, like scheduling social media, your email lists, maybe even how you onboard new clients.
So systems, basically.
Yes. And here's where it links back to the book. By automating those routine things, you free up time for the stuff that really grows your business. The strategy, the innovation, maybe even building those extra income streams we talked about.
It's a cycle, feeding itself.
Exactly. But let's be real, even with all the automation in the world, people need to know about you, your skills. So, marketing.
Marketing, my least favorite word.
Haha, I hear you. But the book is big on targeted marketing, not just yelling into the void, but figuring out who your ideal client is. What are their needs? What message will actually resonate with them?
Sounds good, but how do you do that if you're not, like, a marketing genius?
And that's where Automations Made Easy comes back in. It helps you automate a lot of those tasks that can feel so overwhelming. Emails, social media, even some content creation.
So you're not spending hours on every single post. You've got systems helping you out.
You got it. And again, working on the business, not just in it. By automating, you get that mental space to think bigger, connect with potential clients more deeply. It's more sustainable that way.
This is all making sense, like pieces fitting together.
Yeah.
But are there real-world examples of this stuff working? Like proof, it's not just theory.
Oh yeah, they've got case studies. Say Goodbye to Feast-or-Famine, they highlight some of Yale's top ones, like Hertz, the rental car company.
Wait, Hertz? What's so special about renting cars?
It's not just about the cars. This case study focuses on how they handled their finances, built a diverse leadership team. CEO Catherine Marinello, CFO Jameer Jackson. It's about overcoming tough stuff and adapting.
Oh, okay, like the bigger picture. And speaking of adapting, the restaurant industry, right?
Mm.
They've had to pivot like crazy, especially post-pandemic.
They have. And remember that Data Central survey? Even after all that disruption, people craved going back to sit-down restaurants. More than movies, shopping. It was a top priority.
It's that human element again.
Exactly. And the point is, even in industries known for being tough, there's resilience, innovation. It's about learning from those who adapt and diversify. Whatever your work is, those principles apply. It makes you think, Whole industries having to change. It gives you hope, like anything's possible. And that's what I like about these sources. They don't just point out the problem, there are actual solutions here.
Okay, good, because I was going to say I'm ready for some action steps. What can people actually do starting today to get more stable income going?
Well, one thing that stuck with me from Say Goodbye to Feast-or-Famine, it's this idea of a separate investment function.
Okay, it sounds kind of corporate-y. What does that even mean?
It's simpler than it sounds. It's like carving out space, budget, maybe even a whole system specifically for innovation and growth in your business.
So instead of just randomly throwing money at ideas or hoping for the best.
Right, you're being deliberate about it. It's like saying, this chunk of my resources, this is for exploring new stuff, testing things out, even investing in myself. Takes the pressure off a bit.
Yeah, because then if something doesn't work, it's not like your whole world falls apart.
Right. And this ties back to what we said about targeted marketing. That's where I think a lot of us, myself included, get stuck. You can have amazing skills, but if nobody knows...
It's like a tree falling in the forest. Nobody hears it.
Exactly. And the book gets real specific on this, going beyond just general marketing and figuring out who is my ideal client, what do they need, what message will actually speak to them.
Sounds great. But if you're not some marketing whiz...
That's where Automation's Made Easy is so helpful. It shows you how to automate those marketing tasks that can suck up so much time. Emails, social media scheduling, even some content creation.
Instead of like agonizing over every single post, you've got systems working for you.
Yep. And again, working on your business, not just always in it. Automating frees up mental space so you can think bigger, connect better with potential clients, makes it more sustainable in the long run.
I'm digging this. It's like internal and external strategies at the same time. But what about the mindset stuff, like habits, support systems? That matters too, right?
Oh, for sure. The book talks about this ongoing support and accountability. Maybe you find a mentor, join some kind of mastermind group, even just having a friend you trust to bounce ideas off of.
Like your own personal cheer squad, keeping you going when it gets tough.
Exactly. And the accountability part. Huge. It's easy to set goals and let them slide when things get crazy. But if someone's checking in with you, you're sharing your progress.
Helps you stay on track. Now, remember our restaurant analogy. They're masters of adaptation, especially after the pandemic hit. New tech, new ways to make money, connecting with customers even when dining in was impossible.
And that's such a good lesson for any kind of work. Being flexible, pivoting when you need to, embracing change instead of fighting it.
Because things will change, that's for sure. But what I find so hopeful is, even with all those challenges, restaurants are still thriving. People want to go out, connect, have that shared meal experience.
It goes back to that human need, Even in a world that feels so digital sometimes, we still crave those real-life moments. And for us building stable income, it's a reminder that we're not just robots churning out work.
It's like, even while we're chasing that stability, we can't forget the human side of it all. Finding that balance where you make a good living, but it also feeds your soul.
I love that.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. Diversifying income, strategic planning, automation, marketing, mindset, support. If you had to pick one essential tip, what would it be?
That's a tough one, but if I had to choose, invest in yourself.
Oh, I like that. What do you mean by that?
It could be so many things. Taking a course to learn a new skill, going to a conference to meet people and get fresh ideas, hiring a coach to bust through those mental blocks, even just making time for self-care so you can think clearly. It's recognizing that you are your biggest asset.
So it's not just the business, it's you as a whole person, your well-being, your growth.
Absolutely, because the value you bring to the world, that's reflected in your income eventually. Yeah. And the more you invest in yourself, the more valuable you become.
It's not about chasing money for the sake of it. It's about becoming the kind of person who just naturally attracts abundance.
And that takes time. It's a journey, not a quick fix.
Speaking of journeys, I think we're ready for the final part of ours today. Okay, so we've explored a lot when it comes to getting that stable income. But before we wrap up, got to make sure our listeners can actually, take action, right?
Absolutely. And one thing to keep in mind, what works for one person might not be the right fit for someone else. There's no magic bullet.
So it's not about finding the answer, it's about finding your answer.
Exactly. That's why we've been looking at all these different strategies, diversifying income, being strategic, automation, that targeted marketing we talked about, even just the mindset stuff, finding support. It's a toolbox. You experiment, see what fits your situation.
Start small, figure out what works, and build from there.
Exactly. It's about building something that lasts, not just a quick burst of effort.
Now, before we get too practical, got to address something.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get caught up in the hustle, comparing yourself to everyone else. You're always behind, this whole stable income thing. It's not just tea about the money, is it?
No, it's bigger than that. It's about creating a life that feels, I don't know, aligned, like it's fulfilling. You've got the freedom to pursue your passions, spend time with people you care about, make a difference in the world in a way that matters to you.
So having the resources, yeah, but also the space to live a life that feels good. Not just financially, but emotionally too.
You got it. And that looks different for everyone, right? For some folks, it might mean having that financial security so they can travel. For others, maybe it's flexibility to work from home so they can be with family more.
Defining success on your terms,
Mm-hmm.
not based on what anyone else says it should be.
Love that.
We talked about investing in yourself. Any specific examples, what does that actually look like?
Oh, totally. Think about what really energizes you. What skills have you been wanting to learn, or what are those knowledge gaps you need to fill in? Maybe it's taking a course, online or in person, learning a new software program, a workshop on communication, or maybe hiring a coach to help you get clear on your goals. Even something small, like setting aside 30 minutes every day to read industry stuff or listen to podcasts.
Being proactive, making that choice to learn and grow.
Yeah. And remember, you don't have to go it alone. There are so many resources out there, online communities, mentorship programs, even just reaching out to someone whose work you admire. Just ask. You never know.
Right. As we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you want our listeners to remember?
Okay, this is it. Building stable income, it's a journey, not a destination. Enjoy the process. Keep learning, keep adapting, and most importantly, find the joy in it. It's so much bigger than just the numbers in your bank account. It's about crafting a life that truly aligns with your values, what you want to achieve in the world.
I love that. And for me, don't be afraid to ask for help. There's tons of support out there. You don't have to figure it all out by yourself.
You got this. You have the power to create that life, the one that feels stable, fulfilling, and truly reflects what matters most to you.
Now, one final thought for you to chew on. Imagine having an extra 2 hours every single day. What would you do with that time to build a more stable, more fulfilling work life? We'd love to hear your thoughts, so let us know. And be sure to check out the full sources we mentioned for even more insights. Until next time, keep on diving. Thanks for tuning in to the Small Business Accelerator podcast.
We really hope today's strategies help you grow your business without breaking the bank.
Don't forget to check the show notes for links to resources we've handpicked for small business success.
If you found value in today's episode, it would make our day if you subscribed to the podcast and left us a review.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
And stay tuned for our next episode. Next time, we'll reveal yet another game-changing strategy that's revolutionizing how small businesses on a shoestring budget take on giant corporations and accelerate their success.
Until then, keep accelerating your success.
This is Sarah Wilson.
And Roger Bryant, signing off.